Hello. So this is my first YouTube video ever, and I had this idea. So I went to the bookstore and I found this book called The Pig That Wants to Be Eaten. I thought it was a play on the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the cow walks up and is like, which part of me would you want to eat today? I thought it sounded interesting. It was in the philosophy section of Barnes and Noble, and I thought it would be interesting. But not having any friends, and of course everybody being inside right now, and more people watching the internet than ever, I figured it would be cool to sort of walk through these thought experiments, or these philosophical thought experiments together, and see what other people have to say about them, and not just me. So I thought that we could do this YouTube channel. If 2 people watch it, that's fine, or if 1,000 people watch it, that's fine. I think that it would be cool to try to make philosophy more accessible, and not in this mysterious realm of, you have to be super smart to try to approach these things. So with that in mind, I'm going to try to explain a little thing on these Word documents as we go along. I'm going to read the experiment, work through some of the thoughts that I've had about it, and then read the conclusion that Julian Baggini has offered us in response to some of these dilemmas. So let's start off with the evil demon, made famous by Rene Descartes in Meditations. But of course, this is a super abridged version, since most of us don't have time to sit and study that meticulously. So let's just read through this experiment, and I'll work through some of the things on the screen. So the evil demon, which of course was by Julian Baggini. Is anything so self-evident that it cannot be doubted? Of question 1 up here. Is it not possible that our lives are no more than dreams, or that the world is just a figment of our imaginations? Outlandish though these notions are, the mere fact that they are conceivable shows that the reality of the physical world can be doubted. There are other ideas, however, which seem to be so clear and self-evident that they must be true. For instance, whether you are awake or asleep. Well, that must be true. If I'm awake, I'm awake. I know that because I know it. Or 2 plus 2 makes 4. A triangle must have 3 sides, whether the world, real or imaginary, contains triangles or not. But what if God, or some powerful malicious demon, is tricking you? Couldn't such an evil spirit fool you into believing that the false is obviously true? Haven't we seen hypnotists make people count to 10, unaware that they have missed out the number 7? And what of a man who is in a dream, hears 4 strikes of the clock tower bell, and finds himself thinking, how odd, the clock has struck 1 4 times. If the evil demon is a possibility, is there anything which is beyond doubt? And of course, how will we go about finding if it's beyond doubt, right? If it's undoubtable. So the first question, of course, was, is anything so self-evident that it cannot be doubted? Does anything stand alone in the universe that just is, and we can't doubt whether or not it is or isn't? The philosopher's approach generally is our intuition is what exists, is what is there that cannot be doubted. Our rationality, our sense of working through problems on our own is the only thing, at least according to Descartes and most philosophers, that cannot be doubted. It's there. Our ability to work through and think about things on our own accord is the only thing that is undoubtable. So I can't doubt that I'm thinking right now, right? Because I can't measure if I'm doubting right now without doubting. I mean, I can have doubts about things, but I can't doubt that I'm thinking, right? So it's kind of a play on Descartes' I think, therefore I am. I'm not going to butcher the Latin, but it's there for those of you who want to see it. It's kind of a play on that. So I'm thinking, so therefore I exist, but in the same sense, I'm thinking, and I can't doubt that I'm thinking. I can be doubting in the process of thinking, but I'm not doubting that I'm thinking, because that's contradictory. So some examples of this would be time is something that we like to think exists, but it can be doubted. It has, it's paradoxical by nature. We say that time exists, but it can exist in the future. So how does it exist in the future? That's a doubt. How can we say that 11 o'clock is going to be 11 o'clock when it's 10 o'clock? We don't really know. Or what if I think it's 8 o'clock and my own sense of intuition and my own understanding of what time it is quite literally is wrong, but I know that it's 8 o'clock, but it's really 9. How do we not doubt that? Or you could go through this thing that I don't like to call it. I just put it there, the true-false distinction. So how do we know what's true? Obviously, there's some things that we just know obviously is true. But how do we know that without a doubt? How do we know that some things are true without a doubt? Is it an innate sense in us to know whether or not something is true or false? Is it this inner pull to what is right and wrong? Well, that's more of a moral or ethical search. Or to know what is true or not true? How do we go about knowing those obviously true things without having them being taught to us? And then if we accept that they've been taught to us, how do we not doubt their teachings? Which I think is a source of constant frustration in our day and age. But how do we not doubt their doctrination? How do we know that what they are saying is obviously true? If you wanted to think more about this, how do we separate dreams from reality? How do we know? I mean, we know that we exist right now, and I know that I'm thinking right now, but how do I know I'm not in a dream? How can I not doubt my existence holistically? How can I not doubt every bit of what I'm thinking right now, or every bit of my understanding of my experience right now? It's kind of a tough one. And then again, question number 3 plays to number 1. Is there anything so self-evident that cannot be doubted? It begs the question, is there anything which is beyond doubt itself? Is there anything which is there without a doubt? You know, you could say, well, you are there on the screen in front of me. That is beyond doubt. Maybe. Maybe the fact that I exist in front of you could be a hallucination. Maybe I could say I doubt that. Maybe, I'm not really in front of you on your screen. I don't know. Stuff to think about, but let's read the conclusion of this first experiment and see what Baggini has to say and offer us maybe some sense of peace of mind. So perhaps this thought experiment's payoff is our capacity to reason has to be taken as basic for any serious thought to be undertaken at all. We can doubt whether any particular piece of reasoning is sound by thinking hard about it, right? We're using our own intuition and rationality. We can think about something and doubt it, right? But we cannot doubt whether our own general capacity for reason is flawed or not, because we can't know without somebody else telling us if our reasoning is sound or unsound, and then we doubt whether or not they are sound or unsound. So, Baggini says, at best, we can say it seems to serve us well enough. Is that enough to vindicate rationality, or does it leave it weakened? So I think the main takeaway here is we know that we can think, and we can't doubt that we're thinking, but we can't doubt our own sense of rationality. I can say, yeah, I may not be right, but at the end of the day, we still have this, it seems intrinsically natural sense of what is true and not true. So with that in mind, think about what is so self-evident that cannot be doubted. Is there anything that exists without a doubt? Undoubtedly. How do we undoubtedly doubt? Maybe. I don't know. Well, that's all I got for this one. I'm looking forward to the next one I publish out here. If you came from Facebook, leave me a like. I don't know. I'm new to this stuff. I'm just talking. And I don't pretend to be authoritative on this by any means. I guarantee you that I probably will contradict myself, or have probably contradicted myself several times so far in this video. But that was all I got for this one. The next one we're going to look at is Beam Me Up. So we'll look at that one shortly. But if you see any errors, let me know and we can talk about them. I just want to get the masses thinking. All right. Well, that was all I got for this one. I'll see y'all in the next one.